Here we go! After the shortest winter break so far, the ADAC GT Masters is ready for the start of its 16th season. The opening weekend of the German GT Championship starts as usual at the Motorsport Arena Oschersleben, a little more than 150 kilometers from Berlin. In addition to the supersports cars of the GT Masters, the ADAC TCR Germany and the GT4 Germany will also be on the grid. Race 1 of a 14-race season, and at long last it's great to welcome spectators back to their terraces here at Oschersleben. Third on the grid is Joel Sturm. He and his team Allied Racing have moved up to the League of Supersports Cars from ADAC GT4 Germany. Second on the grid, the reigning champions in ADAC GT Masters, Monteplas by Land Motorsport, and championship-winning driver Ricardo Feller, but it's teammate Yusufa Vega who will be first at the wheel. There's the pole sitter Frank Pereira in the Emil Frey Racing Lamborghini Huracan. Great to welcome Emil Frey to the grid for 2022. The engines are running, the anticipation is rising. It's time for the start of the 2022 season. And it's Frank Pereira who leads the field in towards turn 1. But look at Joel Sturm on the inside in the Porsche. He's late on the brakes. He goes across the gravel trap. He just about avoids making contact with the Monteplas by Land Audi of Yusufa Vega. Somehow they all continue, with Sturm sneaking past the man-filter Team Landgraf Mercedes of Jonathan Aberdeen and back up into third place. There's a dust storm in the background. That's Jack Aitken in another of the Emil Frey Lamborghinis. He's doing a little bit of rallycross. He keeps it out of the gravel trap and is able to continue. This is a replay of that start from the perspective of Aberdeen, and you can see the heroic move by Sturm. It just goes a little bit wrong, and Yusufa Vega really was very lucky not to be collected by that Porsche. Pereira's opened up quite a lead, and Yusufa Vega has Joel Sturm for company. Then a gap back to Jonathan Aberdeen with Mick Wiesofer just joining. But there's more excitement in the hotel turn. This time it's Jan Marszałkowski who goes spinning. It looks as though he might have made the slightest contact with Klaus Bachler in the ID Racing Porsche. ID Racing, a new team to the series this year. But Marszałkowski just about avoids getting collected by anybody else, but he has to rejoin right at the back of the pack. Looking back from Jonathan Aberdeen at Mick Wiesofer, who is closing in the battle for fourth place. Aberdeen going deep into the hotel turn. Wiesofer is through, but he squeezes Aberdeen out to the side of the track. The Lamborghini muscling its way through. The South African is now forced to stare at the back of that Lamborghini Huracan. It was a controversial pass. Mick Wiesofer gives Aberdeen a little bit of a nudge onto the dirt. Aberdeen tries to come back at him, but the Emil Frey Racing team are delighted. Their delight's not going to last for long though. The stewards have said that they must give the place back, so Wiesofer is going to have to do it all over again. The pit stop window is open for the first time this year, and Arthur Rougier waits for Frank Pereira to peel off into the pit lane. Keeping to the 50k speed limit, he stops exactly outside the Emil Frey garage. Rougier rushes out, helps Pereira to get out of the car. Now it's Pereira's turn to help Rougier. Second place Yusufa Vega is also in the pit lane, and he's handing over to the defending drivers champion Ricardo Feller. Feller in the car, Vega helping him to get buckled up, wishes him good luck, and very shortly that Audi will burst into life and he rejoins. But here comes the leader, Arthur Rougier, along the pit straight into turn 1, and Ricardo Feller is looking at the back of the Emil Frey Racing Lamborghini. Now, the very experienced Feller, can he do anything about the less experienced Rougier? Pereira explains to his engineer that it's going to be a tough race. This is the duel for fourth place. Raffaele Marciello's taken over from Jonathan Aberdeen. Consta Lapalainen has taken over from Mick Wiesofer. Marciello on the outside, out of the Hasseröder turn. It's a side-by-side drag race in towards turn 4. Marciello going the long way around and finally relieving Lapalainen of that place. He moves up into 4th. The battles are raging up and down the field. This one is back in 13th place. Nicholas Cruton has a queue of cars behind him. Amongst them, it's Christopher Mies, the defending champion, and he's got Jules Gounon getting up close and personal in the Mercedes. Mies very preoccupied with the rear view mirror because that Mercedes is looming large. This is for the lead though. Arthur Rougier has Ricardo Feller monstering him all the way. He runs over some debris. Be careful you don't get a puncture there, Arthur. But now Ricardo Feller lining him up for the pass. Oh, it's all a little bit chilled in the garage. Yusuf Oega watching on. He doesn't seem at all stressed, does he? Here comes Ricardo Feller. Moves to the outside. Under braking into turn one. Rougier makes a mistake. He goes across the gravel trap. He goes wide. Ricardo Feller is through, the defending champion, taking the lead of the race. And you can see that Arthur Rougier just getting it all wrong. Under braking, misses his braking point, takes too much speed into the hotel turn. And Feller is through. The Monteplas by Land team are ecstatic. Yusuf Vega, oh, he's suddenly paying attention now, isn't he?
I struggled a lot with the rear. I tried to defend as much as I could. But in fact, I lost the rear in the marbles in the inside. But honestly, I lost the position a bit too early in the race. But it would have been, with the pace I had, it would have been really tough to keep him behind for the whole race.
Looking from our drone cam, this is Dennis Marshall, who is attacking Nicky Katzberg. That is for 8th place. Katzberg in the Schubert Motorsport BMW. Looking back from it, you can see Marshall putting on all the pressure. It's taking every bit of concentration for Katzberg to stay in front. Out of the final corner, it's Ricardo Feller who sees the checkered flag in front of him. The perfect start to his title defence. He crosses the line to win race 1 of the weekend in the Monteplas by Land Audi. Second across the line, it's Arthur Rougier. Third, it's Sven Muller, who's taken over from Joel Sturm in the Allied Racing Porsche. Yusuf Vega rushes to congratulate Ricardo Feller. Great teamwork and great potential for the 2022 title.
Yeah, it was perfect. We could immediately show our speed and show presence and show that we're here and we're here to win.
The first race of the season goes to Yusuf Vega and Ricardo Feller in the Monteplas by Land Audi. Frank Pereira and Arthur Rougier in second place, and third Joel Sturm and Sven Muller. Celebrations have started, but race 2 is coming tomorrow. Once again, conditions are perfect at the Oschersleben Motorsports Arena, and the crowd are packing in to witness race 2 for the ADAC GT Masters. It's Raffaele Marciello who lines up third on the grid in the yellow Mamba. Jules Gounon doing some last-minute preparations before he lines up second on the grid. Our pole sitter, though, the 2019 champion Patrick Niederhauser at the wheel of the Rutronic Racing Audi. 60 minutes plus 1 lap of racing ahead of us. The 5 red lights go out. It's Patrick Niederhauser who surges ahead as the cars head towards turn 1. Jules Gounon being challenged by Raffaele Marciello in second place. Niederhauser still ahead. The rest of the cars heading around the hotel turn. But here comes Jules Gounon on the inside of Niederhauser. He squeezes him on the exit of turn 2. And it's Jules Gounon leading the way. This is a replay of the start from the perspective of Raffaele Marciello moving to the inside of Jules Gounon. You can see Jules Gounon challenging the leading Niederhauser car. Niederhauser goes deep into the corner and Gounon is through. Then that little shove to the side. Nothing much, but enough to take that lead away. This is the start from the perspective of Nicky Katzberg in the Schubert Motorsport BMW. The local team will be delighted as he surges forward from 7th on the grid. Now challenging for 4th place is Albert Costa Balboa in the Emil Frey Lamborghini. Balboa holds on to that position, but for how long? Further back, a collision. Ayhan Guven and Christopher Haase getting together. Christopher Haase is pointing in the wrong direction. Ayhan Guven is going to be awarded a drive-through penalty for unnecessary contact. Haase was very lucky not to get collected by another car as he's stranded in the middle of that corner. Here's your leaders. It's Jules Gounon leading the way from Patrick Niederhauser, Raffaele Marciello and Nicky Katzberg, who's finally found a route past Albert Costa Balboa. The top 6 are fairly well spaced out now as they head around the hotel turn. But further back, the fight for 17th place, Elias Seppänen. It's his debut race and contact for Robert Renauer. It looked like Renauer had pushed him off the track. The stewards don't think so. There's no penalty going to be awarded. So Seppänen continues. Renauer is still behind him, but they've both lost loads of places. The pit window's open. Here comes our leader, Jules Gounon, into the pits, handing over to Fabian Schiller. Also, it's Luca Engstler who's taking over from Patrick Niederhauser. This is going to be critical with the top two both coming in at the same time. Can Engstler beat Schiller out of the pits? The two cars coming together in the pit lane. Somehow Engstler keeps it out of the wall, but Schiller continues in the lead. Luca Engstler in second. Now Engstler still trying to pass him in the pit lane. Was that an unsafe release? We'll find out. Nicky Katzberger's handed over to Jesse Krohn. You saw him behind. Krohn coming out of the pits. And now Jonathan Aberdeen, who's taken over from Raffaele Marciello, is just ahead of him. Let's hear from Luca Engstler.
Well, for me, basically, it was a clear unsafe release. But as I told before, I'm the new kid from the block here, so I don't want to create a mess in the beginning. And my focus is to race, and the other thing, it's not my job to decide or to focus on that.
This is for 5th place. It's Jack Aitken on the right-hand side and Kim Louis Schramm. Well, he was on the left. Now he's behind. Jack Aitken taking that place away. Behind them, it's Yusuf Ovega, yesterday's winner in the Monteplas by Land Audi, also wanting to get involved. Aitken is doing a great job in his GT Masters debut, but Kim Louis Schramm loses a position to Yusuf Ovega, so that's 6th place for him. Now he sets about Aitken in front of him. Just ahead, Jesse Krohn has got his eyes on a podium position. Jonathan Aberdeen is in 3rd place, but Krohn in the brand new BMW M4 has challenged the Mercedes. He moves to the inside. They run side by side towards turn 3, the Hasseröder turn. Under braking, Aberdeen just holding on. Krohn trying to go around the outside. He has to drop back in, but now he ducks to the inside again. Aberdeen closes the door, the Finnish driver having to settle for 4th place. Jan Marszałkowski and Thierry Vermeulen are battling for 8th place. Adam McDonald's turn 10 and down towards turn 11, the shell turn. And Vermeulen doesn't even lift for the chicane. He bounces off the curbs, but there's a big gap on the inside. And Marszałkowski rushes to fill that gap side by side into the corner. But Marszałkowski has that move made. Vermeulen is relegated to position. Daniel Juncadella in the pits looks on delighted with the rest of the team. Our leader though, the other of the Drago ZVO Mercedes out of the final corner is Fabian Schiller, who crosses the line to take the checkered flag. Luca Engstler in 2nd and Jonathan Aberdeen in 3rd. It's a debut win for the brand new team, Drago Racing Team ZVO, but also celebrations in the Rutronic pits for a well-deserved 2nd place. Fabian Schiller is congratulated by Jules Gounon.
Today we really had to reward the team for all their work during the pre-season test after the issue I created and stuff. They work really hard every day to get the car ready, and we come here and we win for them the first race. It's first race weekend they win in one of the hardest championships in GT, so I think they are really happy, and we are definitely very happy with Fabi.
It's been a great start to the season for the ADAC GT Masters. Fabian Schiller and Jules Gounon taking the win in race 2 ahead of Luca Engstler and Patrick Niederhauser. Jonathan Aberdeen and Raffaele Marciello rounding out the top 3. Here are the points classifications after the first 2 races. It's Ovega and Feller at the top. Aberdeen and Marciello just 7 points adrift ahead of Engstler and Niederhauser. Gounon and Schiller all just 8 points away from the lead. The headline is Drago Racing Team ZVO winning on their debut weekend in the ADAC GT Masters. The top 3 teams received their trophies on the podium, but already thoughts turn to round 2 at the Red Bull Ring. Race 1 of a 14-race season for the ADAC TCR Germany. It's that man there, Martin Andersson, on pole position, but this year he's driving a Honda Civic instead of the Hyundai that he was driving for Team Engstler last year. Jessica Bachmann makes a welcome return to the series and qualifies second on the grid, but at lights out, Bachmann makes the jump on Martin Andersson, who has a dreadful getaway. He's swallowed by the pack. Also, Jonas Karklees making a great start, but it's Jessica Bachmann who leads into turn 1. Karklees having a look on the outside. On board with Simon Ladniak, also running for Liquimoli Team Engstler, and teammate Martin Andersson is making his recovery after that awful start. He comes bumping through on the inside and takes that place away. Now Andersson sets about the lead duo. It's to the inside of Jonas Karklees. Karklees is wide out of the corner. That's a big enough gap for Martin Andersson. He's through and he slams the door on the number 27 Hyundai. Now he sets about chasing after Jessica Bachmann at the front of the field. Along the pit straight and into turn 1 is the best overtaking opportunity, and Jessica Bachmann getting 2 wheels onto the dirt is not going to help her cause at all. The concentration is intense as Jessica Bachmann looks to take her first ever win in the ADAC TCR Germany, whilst further back Rene Kirscher is challenging Simon Ladniak, and that is for 4th place. There's a gap on the inside of Ladniak's Honda and Rene Kirscher is through. The view from Simon Ladniak as he sees that Hyundai come sailing through on the inside, but it's Jessica Bachmann with Martin Andersson right on her tail, who exits the final corner to take the win, her first ever win in the ADAC TCR Germany and the first win for a Hyundai Veloster. Further back, Jonas Karklees is just fending off Rene Kirscher. It's a drag race to the line, and it's Jonas Karklees who just gets that position. Jessica Bachmann receives congratulations from the Rocker Motorsport team. Her brother Andres is there as well.
It feels amazing since my dream has been to win a race in a racing car. So it's my first win ever in TCR and any racing car ever. And it has also been a dream to hear the national anthem on the podium. So it's like I'm very, very happy. So I'm very happy, yeah.
I think she is very happy, and quite rightly, taking the win in race 1 of the season. Jessica Bachmann from Martin Andersson. Jonas Karklees just holding off Rene Kirscher for 3rd place, followed by Simon Ladniak. Herman Tomczyk presents the trophy. Jessica Bachmann is at the top of her game. Martin Andersson is once again on pole position for race 2 with Jonas Karklees alongside, and this time there are no problems getting away. It's Andersson who leads into turn 1. Jonas Karklees challenging on the inside though. Andersson swoops across to shut the door. The rest of the field comes streaming through. Race 1 winner Jessica Bachmann had an awful qualifying and started right at the back of the pack, so she's working her way through, as is Rene Kirscher as he moves to the inside of Albert Legutko and takes away 3rd place. Also Simon Ladniak challenging Albert Legutko. Here comes Ladniak. We're on board with him along the pit straight. He looks to the inside towards turn 1, under braking, the back end just stepping out slightly. Now Ladniak having to take the long way around Legutko and then cutting back to the inside towards turn 11, and the space on the inside is enough for Ladniak to come sailing through. At the front of the pack, Martin Andersson has stretched his legs, but Jonas Karklees is coming under increasing pressure from Rene Kirscher. Jessica Bachmann also making good progress. She's caught up with Albert Legutko and is now hounding him for 6th place. Into the chicane they come. Legutko on the outside. He doesn't even try to take the chicane. We can see from our camera that is buried in the track that Legutko goes the other side of the camera and of the bollard. Clearly there's a problem with that Honda Civic as he pulls up onto the grass now. Was there some kind of contact between him and Jessica Bachmann? It certainly looked like his right front wheel was pointing in all sorts of different directions. We can see on the replay Jessica Bachmann looking in her mirrors, but at the front is Martin Andersson who crosses the line to take the win ahead of Jonas Karklees and Rene Kirscher rounding out the top 3. Liquimoli Team Engstler celebrate as Martin Andersson crosses the line. The driver climbing from his car, clearly delighted with his win to go with his 2nd place from yesterday.
I love the track. It's technical, suits the Honda really nice. So more than expected when we came here to the track, but I'm super happy about our championship lead, and I hope it continues.
So, as confirmed by Martin there, he leads the championship 15 points ahead of Jonas Karklees and 21 points ahead of yesterday's winner Jessica Bachmann. Rene Kirscher in fourth, 25 points off the lead. For now, the celebrations start at the Oschersleben Motorsport Arena to conclude round one of the ADAC TCR Germany. It's an all-Dur Motorsport front row for race one of the ADAC GT4 Germany. It's Phil Dur on pole position, his brother Ben alongside, and it's Phil who leads into turn one. But Marcel Lanez in the Toyota Supra is trying to spoil the family fun as he tries to race around the outside of Ben Dur. He drops back into third though. Behind him is Gabriel Piana and Theo Overhouse, but Overhouse has lost it heading into turn three. The car spins. Looking at the replay, it seems as though he might have had the slightest of touches from Gabriel Piana and maybe Mike David Ortmann. But the CV Performance Mercedes is left pointing in the wrong direction. Following the safety car to remove Overhouse, it's Phil Dur who once again takes the green flag. This time though, Marcel Lanez is up to second, but we've lost Gabriel Piana. The defending champion in the GT4 Germany is out of the race with mechanical issues. This has big implications for Hofer Racing by Bonk Motorsport as they look to defend their title. The pit window is open, the leader is in for the mandatory pit stop. It's Indy Doncher who's taking over from Phil Dur in the Aston Martin. Doncher is a seasoned campaigner in GT racing, but he now has a lot of work to do to keep that car in the lead of this race. He emerges from the pits ahead of Romain Leroux, who's taken over from Ben Dur in second place, and Cedric Pirot in the Toyota, who's taken over from Marcel Lanez. This is for 8th place. It's Stefan Bostanchiev on the inside of Marit Buchmann coming out of Hasserode turn 3. Buchmann is fighting back. Bostanchiev goes wide out of the corner, leaves the slightest of gaps. There's contact between the two cars, and it's Bostanchiev who goes spinning onto the grass and comes to a halt. Another onto the grass is Hugo Sasser. He goes wide, and that's Finn Zulauf who comes through to relieve him of 4th place as they come out of turn 14. Out of that same corner comes our race winner. It's Indy Doncher who crosses the line first. A dominant display from Dur Motorsport because another of their cars crosses the line second. It's the 007 of Romain Leroux. Race 2, it's Tom Wood on pole position with Indy Doncher alongside and Hendricks still in third. But it's Wood who gets the jump, shutting the door on Indy Doncher as they head into turn 1. And Wood already opening up a lead before they've even got around the first corner. Denis Bulatov and Romain Leroux are battling for P4. The two cars come together and pirouette almost in perfect harmony. There's also problems further back as Axel Sartian moves across on Nikolai Moller-Madsen and he goes spearing off into Leo Wasserther, the 3 Porsches all ending up in the gravel trap. As we look at a slow motion replay, a safety car is called for to clear this lot up. And at the restart, Wood once again leads, but look at Vincent Andronacco in the Allied Racing Porsche working his way through the field. He started down in 17th, but unbelievably, he's up into 5th place. He's already dispatched Mike David Ortmann. Next, it's Gabriel Piana. He's got his eyes on the battle for 3rd place between Max Kronberg and Phil Dur. Here he comes, looking to the inside of Kronberg. He's already dispatched Kronberg. Now he's lining up Phil Dur. What an extraordinary performance from this 16-year-old driver. He attacks Phil Dur and through into 2nd place. Up the inside he goes. Phil Dur has absolutely nothing for the Allied Racing Porsche. The spectators are being thoroughly entertained. Now it's for the lead. Ewan Mackay, who's taken over from Tom Wood, can do nothing to fend off the Porsche. They run side by side. Vincent Andronacco going the long way around Hasseröder to take the lead of this race from P17. An incredible win. The Allied Racing team have every reason to celebrate. This is an up-and-coming star.
The whole team doesn't expect this outcome now at the end. The car was not so competitive like we thought before the race weekend, and now in the end it's even more beautiful than scoring P1, so I'm happy.
After a spectacular and memorable opening weekend for the GT4 Germany, it's Indy Dontje and Phil Durr who lead by 16 points from Paul Orel-Korenik, Vincent Andronacco, Tom Wood and Ewan Mackay. Hugo Sasser and Mike David Ortman are just 1 point behind them.